was indeed aimed at taking out the terrorist organization's leader, Hassan Nasrallah. We still don't have any confirmation, though, whether Nasrallah has been killed or not. Rescue workers are responding to the scene right now in southern Beirut, where they are evacuating the injured, also retrieving the bodies of those that were killed in the airstrike. You can still see the plumes of smoke from where that strike took place. Our foreign correspondent, Marcus Moore, is in Beirut, along with our contributor and former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for the Middle East, Mick Mulroy. Marcus, let's start with you. We're just learning that Benjamin Netanyahu is actually cutting his U.S. trip early now. He made his speech this morning at the UN. So I'm assuming it's to get back with the news of what might have taken place here. We still haven't confirmed the death of Nasrallah, but clearly, if he is dead, this is going to be a huge story.
Yeah, a huge story, no doubt, Kira. Major development happening here in Beirut. The word from Prime Minister Netanyahu's office in Jerusalem is that he will head back to Israel tonight, as we are watching images of absolute catastrophic destruction unfold from the site of the blast. That if you look at just behind me, you may be able to see the haze in the distance. That is the smoke still rising, the smoke and dust still rising from that scene after a series of blasts. We felt and heard one of them today, Kira. It was without a doubt, the largest and most powerful blast we have felt this week. And this will mark the fifth strike on Dahia, the southern suburb of Beirut, the Hezbollah stronghold, the fifth strike just this week. And as you reported, we understand, according to the IDF, that the target was Hassan Nasrallah, the Secretary General of Hezbollah. But you look at the devastation there, and we are talking about several buildings that have been severely damaged, flattened, according to reports. And so we are talking about scores of casualties. Right now, we're waiting for word. I've reached out to the health ministry here, and we're waiting to get the initial report. But I can tell you, Kira, in our time that we've spent in Dahia, it is a densely populated area, not only with shops, but also homes. And the fact that you have several buildings that have been absolutely destroyed, we can anticipate that the numbers will be quite high. Right now, as you mentioned, we don't know if Nasrallah is alive or dead. Israel saying that they targeted him. There's been no confirmation from Hezbollah that he was even in that area, and so we'll have to wait for word on that. Kira.
And clearly, Mick, we're getting, there's other foreign news agencies like, the Saudi press is reporting that Nasrallah has not been killed, but still we don't have any confirmation. And there aren't any media outlets here in the U.S. reporting whether he was killed or not. But if indeed he was, how could this change just the dynamic of the widening war that we've been witnessing? There's been tremendous concern that this could just keep getting worse and worse. If indeed he's been taken out, how can that impact what we're seeing now in the Middle East?
So, Kira, this would be a substantial blow to Hezbollah. Nasrallah has been the Secretary General since 1992 and is revered by that organization. So it would mark, of course, a substantial escalation going in the opposite direction of where the U.S. had hoped to go with a 21-day ceasefire. And it really does put an emphasis that is not where Israel intends to go with this conflict in Lebanon. It's important to point out that most of the facilities of Hezbollah are subterranean, so they build stuff under civilian areas to try to essentially protect themselves. So there might have been multiple bombs. The first to clear out the buildings, and then the second to actually penetrate to the subterranean space and potentially take out Nasrallah. I think it will have to wait a while to see if he was actually killed in this. Early reports are likely not accurate and not informed. I don't know that anybody's actually gotten down to see what the devastation and the damage that has been done.
All right. And
Wow,
of course,
insane.
as we try and work to confirm if indeed Nasrallah is dead or alive, I'm assuming we could probably expect some type of retaliation. So more to follow. Mick, Marcus, thank you both so much.
Shout out to ABC News. I'll leave the link for this video in the description below. Let's go check out what the Guardian is reporting here. I had this in the pocket. I don't like how they do their website. I mean, I do like it. I get it, but it's just the layout's kind of weird in my opinion. This reminds me of like a MySpace, it's like a MySpace page. Regardless, so the Guardian reports Middle East crisis. Israel launches more strikes on Beirut as 6 people reported, man, that their lives are gone from earlier attack. Last heard in Lebanese capital or air attack earlier on Friday, reportedly targeting this commander or leader, left more than 90 people. That's crazy. Injured, man. Okay. Israel conducts new strikes. They have like an interesting layout, at least for this timeline part. Israel conducts new strikes on Beirut. That the one Israeli strike on Beirut rises to 6, nearly to 100 injured. Health ministry. That's crazy. All this stuff. What's going on with this? Or is this going to be it?
حتى الطريق استهدف، الطريق المؤدي الرابط في هذا الشارع استهدف فيه بغارة ايضا بصاروخ يعني خط طريق، ولا هنالك حفر كبيرة عليه في المكان توضح حجم الاستهداف.
تمهيدا لدخول الفرق الإسعافية لإغاثة ما إذا كان هنالك مواطنين عالقين تحت الأنقاض، ونأمل أن لا يكون هنالك مواطنون العلاقة بموضوع الإشعاعات والبث الإشعاعات الذي يتردد. ذكرت في الرسالة السابقة بأن تصل إلى هواتف اللبنانيين بطبيعة الحال العديد من الرسائل بأن
That looks insane. It's like buildings. Said they're hitting the buildings to wipe the buildings out of the way, and then they have another to go and hit the actual surface to hit whatever's below. That's wow. You break that down, right? That is something else. I'll leave the link for this article by The Guardian in the description below. Israel conducts new strikes on Beirut. Interesting. This is like the infrastructure and stuff for Dahia. Israel's military conducted strikes earlier on Saturday in the South Lebanese capital, Beirut, after ordering residents to evacuate and warning it was planning to strike 3 specific buildings in the area. The IDF posted a map of certain areas of Dahia and said residents were obliged to evacuate the buildings immediately and move away from them at a distance of no less than 500 meters. In the coming hours, we are going to strike strategic capability that Hezbollah placed underground under 3 buildings in the heart of Dahia. IDF spokesperson Daniel Hagari told reporters late on Friday. Earlier on Friday, Israel's military said it struck the central headquarters of Hezbollah. That's crazy. In Beirut, in its heaviest air attack on Beirut in almost a year of conflict with the Lebanese militant group. That's wild. 6 loud explosions were heard across the Lebanese capital late on Friday afternoon. A number of buildings in the southern suburb of Dahia were leveled. Residents of the of Daia in a nearby Palestinian refugee camp. Burj al Banar Barajna, I think that's how you say it, fled the area following the strikes. Israeli media reported the strike on Beirut as an attempt to take out the Hezbollah's leader and key Iran ally, Hassan Nasrallah. Other media outlets quoted, this stuff's like updating on the rag, huh? Outlets quoted Hezbollah sources saying he was alive and well, quote and end quote. Hezbollah issued a statement saying there was no truth to any statement about the Israeli attack without specifying what statements it was referring to. IDF spokesperson Hagari said it was still looking into results. Okay. I was looking for my phone for a second. Let me see. It's still looking into the results of his strike and that it was very accurate. But that it was very accurate. That's crazy. At least 6 people, wow, were harmed or were destroyed in this. Fortunately or unfortunately or whatever. And 91 people being injured is crazy by the Israeli strike on Beirut on Friday, according to the Lebanese health ministry, who cautioned that the death toll would likely rise. Some early estimates put the number of dead at 300. That's wild. More casualties are expected as rescue workers clear rubble. You watch this, right? Yeah. Hezbollah responded by this Safed, a city in North Israel. Wow, so they responded with this. With a rocket salvo in response to Israelis' attacks on cities, villages, and civilians. The Iran militant group announced more attacks at Carmel and Sayar, but did not put out a statement regarding the fate of Nasrallah. Israel braced itself for potential retaliation from Hezbollah in Lebanon, and as well as the Yemen and Iran urging residents of the Golan Heights, Safed, the Moram Hagalil, and to stay near protected areas. Man, this is insane. Palestinian. Iran's embassy, Beirut, said the airstrike represented a dangerous game-changing escalation that changes the rules of the game, and warned that his perpetrator would be punished appropriately. Iran's embassy is saying that. That's crazy. In Beirut, it said, wow. Najib Mikati, the caretaker prime minister of Lebanon, said the Israeli attack on Beirut shows that Israel does not care about global calls for a ceasefire in Lebanon. Even if he was not harmed in the strike, targeting Nasrallah would mark a staggering escalation on the Israeli side. The Hezbollah leader represents Iran's most important regional asset and has long been such a linchpin in the so-called axis of resistance. Very interesting. Ooh. The presence of Hezbollah's large rocket arsenal on Israel's northern border has long acted as a deterrent to an Israeli attack on Iran and its nuclear program. And this is interesting. These people are like protesting out here. That anniversary is gonna be coming up here, man. Yehuda Kahan, Cohen. Wow. Outside his luxury Lowe's Regional Hotel on Park Avenue. Yeah, they're like protesting this guy. Wow. It's Netanyahu took the stage. Yeah, that's what I want to watch. That's what I want to watch. Gotta go check that out. I'm gonna leave this link for The Guardian in the description below. Shout out to The Guardian.